Hello friends! Today I have some big news. The first draft of A Time When Demons is finally finished. I can hardly believe it. It's honestly such a strange feeling because I've never actually been able to finish a novel, mainly just editions of graphic novels, like I have an issue 0, issue 1, like bits of stories, but not a full-length novel like this one, which clocked in at 132 pages. It's weird that this is the novel that I finished first. I always thought that it would be one of my babies that I've been working on for years and years and years and decades, like Eternity or Centera. But instead, it's this piece that I came up with very quickly in October as something to work with for NaNoWriMo. And as something that was started specifically to prove to myself that I could start and finish a novel in a reasonable time, it did its job. What I did immediately after finishing this draft was order a copy of it. Not any sort of professional copy. I paid like $21 at Staples, really good price for this sort of thing. And I got a coil-bound copy that I can edit with pencil, just sit down and scribble through the whole thing. I got it not double-sided so that I can make notes. Highly recommend. I actually have aims to double the length of this novel, which maybe that's kind of odd. I think normally you're supposed to make your novels a bit more concise in the editing process. Maybe not. With this one, because I just wanted to finish it, I left out a lot of detail and more artistic writing that I would really like to include in it, so now I get the chance to add that in when I go back and edit. All this to say, yay me! And I'm going to start posting more about this story specifically on my Patreon now. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it or join, you can join for as little as $1 and you'll be able to see updates on this book, on others. You'll see my writing and get other exclusive perks. You can even get original art sent to you or get your name in my book when it is published. So if you'd like to check that out, it is listed in the description below. But for today, over the past few days, I have tried 5 writing hacks and thought I'd share my experience with you. If at the end you'd like to try any of these hacks or read more about them or anything that I mention in here, I will be sure to link references, etc. in that same description, so you'll find everything you could possibly need down below. Now I'm going to roll my progress through each of these hacks, but stay tuned after for my final thoughts on how they all went. Where to start? I am starting with the first of my writing hacks for this week. I am going to do 5, but they will be more compressed to like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, rather than doing them throughout the entire week like I had originally planned. Work happens. The first technique is the Pomodoro technique. This evening I'll probably only be able to do 4 of these, but we'll see how it works. I need to jump into this. This is the one that involves the most writing, so I think it's the best one to go with first. Here we go. Okay, so my first timer just went off, and I think what I'm going to do for this video is just film that one writing period, since you don't need to see a billion different writing periods in this. And then I'll talk about how it was afterwards, but so far, this is basically just a writing sprint, and I got really used to doing those over the course of NaNoWriMo, so this has actually been really good because it gets me back into that mind space. Even though I don't have other people here who are doing the sprinting with me, I've got the timer and my brain sort of reset to that feeling I had when I was doing them, which is a positive thing because November was, as you know, a great month for my writing. Now, what I would normally do in a sprint is give my I would normally give my writing count at the end of a sprint. So what did I get here? In my first 25-minute Pomodoro sprint, I got 854 words. So that's pretty good, and I've got 3 more of these to go. I will count this little chat as my break and get back to them, and I will check in with you when I'm done. Okay, we're finished the Pomodoro technique. I did 4 25-minute sessions with 5-minute breaks in between, and it went really well. I got 3,403 words written. So much more than I've done in the past month and a half. It's a relief. One really cool thing that I'll note is that after that whole month of writing almost every day through NaNoWriMo and doing sprints, that really stayed in my head. So when I went back to doing this again, my brain went right back to that place. So I would definitely recommend this so far. I don't know if this is the best, most inspiring hack of the ones that I'm going to try, but so far it's really awesome for productivity. So if you need to sit down and just hammer out some work, especially if you've already put that in your head at some point, like doing NaNoWriMo or just doing just having a really productive month, if you have cemented that in your mind previously, you can always come back to it. Or that's how it's been for me anyway. So I hope it's that way for you too, because it's an awesome feeling. It's really cool. If you have taken December off of writing after doing NaNoWriMo, try Pomodoro and let me know how it goes for you, because I'd be really curious to find out if this is a me thing or if this is an everyone thing. Now I'm gonna go watch The Queen's Gambit and eat some dinner and maybe try another one of these after, but probably not, since 3,400 words is, I'm thankful for it tonight. It's good. It's a good place to end. It's positive. And tomorrow's Friday, so I'll talk to you then. This is a good start. At least it didn't soak this massive pile of blank paper and sketchbooks. Good morning. As you just saw, I've had a brilliant start. Today I'm doing the Vonnegut technique. I have done this quite a bit. I actually often get up and just get right into creative stuff and forget about food, and then I'm like, oh right, food, and then I go and I eat. So it's nothing new, but what I'm going to wind up doing with these ones that are supposed to sort of affect your productivity and quality of writing is measure how the specific writing is against like Pomodoro versus Vonnegut, like what I did yesterday versus what I did today, and the quality of it. Anyhow, what you just saw, I thought, well, I'm not going to eat, but I am going to have my coffee and I'm going to have my water. And I get in and it's dark in my bedroom, and I thought, well, I know what my desk looks like. Apparently I don't. I go to put my water bottle down and immediately it tips right over and half of it spills all over the floor and my pant leg is all soaked. I'm like, this was supposed to be this comfy zen, get out of bed and start writing morning. It's so far it's not. Yeah, I have sent my writing to myself from my other computer. I'm at my desktop now. Ralph is chilling over there, and I'm gonna get started now. I'm done. I got my breakfast. 2.5 hours later, I got 4,051 words done, which is better than yesterday, but I did write for half an hour extra, so that makes sense, and I'm so close to finishing my draft. I'm gonna have this draft finished by the time I make my video, and then I get to move on to editing, which is really exciting. So 3 more of these hacks to go, and I'll see you at the next one. Work is over. I'm back to writing, and I think I'm gonna nail out a couple more of these hacks today. Right now, I'm at the final sort of prologue part of my novel. So close. I can't get over it. This is so weird. I'm at the final prologue part, and I'm going to try a concept where you write the lines of another author that you really like first to get you going. I'm choosing some lines from Chocolat because I'm actually reading that right now for a project I'm going to be releasing in a couple weeks, which I don't want to divulge too much about, but I think you're going to like it. So I'm going to write down these lines because I'm loving the writing style so much. It's so beautiful. So I'll just read you a little bit of it if you haven't read this. It's so nice. This is just the beginning of the book, so it's not any spoilers, though I'm sure most people have seen the movie at this point since it's been a while, since it's been out quite a while. We came on the wind of the carnival, a warm wind for February, laden with the hot, greasy scents of frying pancakes and sausages and powdery sweet waffles cooked on the hot plate right there by the roadside, with the confetti sleeting down collars and cuffs and rolling in the gutters like an idiot antidote to winter. There is a febrile excitement in the crowds that line the narrow main street, necks craning to catch sight of the crepe-covered char with its trailing ribbons and paper rosettes. Anouk watches, eyes wide, a yellow balloon in one hand and a toy trumpet in the other, from between a shopping basket and a sad brown dog. We have seen carnivals before, she and I. A procession of 250 of the decorated chars in Paris last Mardi Gras, 180 in New York, 24 marching bands in Vienna, clowns on stilts, the grosses têtes with their lolling papier-mâché heads, drum majorettes with batons spinning and sparkling, but at 6 the world retains a special luster. That's just a little bit. So I'm going to do a paragraph of that, and then I'm going to get to my my last little bit of this novel. It's actually really appropriate because I find when I read, if I'm reading and then I go right into writing kind of quickly after, I can retain that vibe in my head, and this is exactly the vibe I want for the end of my story, sort of a wistful, insightful, poetic feeling. All right, let's do it. Okay, I'm back. I wrote a page and I love it. It's beautiful. It's definitely my favorite piece of writing that I've done since getting back into writing since yesterday. I've got a great start to the end of my novel. It's very poetic, which is exactly what I wanted, so I think I've set the scene for it. I don't want to spend too long talking here because I don't want to get out of that headspace, but I have to stop in because I am starting another hack, and that is the notorious Comic Sans hack, the demon font. I don't know if this is gonna help me. I hate Comic Sans, so maybe it will. And I hope it doesn't ruin the mood I'm in with my writing, but if it does, I can just change it up when I get to the editing phase of things anyway. So let's try it. Comic Sans hack. I'm just gonna change the last page of my writing to it as well, so I have to look at it. Oh God, there it is. Oh God, I'm just gonna, can you even, yep. Oh God, it's so ugly. I cry. No, 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 it doesn't work. Not for me. It doesn't work at all. I have never typed so slowly in my life. I just wrote, I think, I just wrote 131 words, and it was so clunky. Apparently,
your hatred for this font is supposed to take you away from the font, because I guess you don't want to like look at it too much and you're supposed to think about other things. All I could think about was the font. And then I have a fairly loud keyboard, which usually I don't notice, and I kind of like the feel of it. I like the feel of it on my fingers a lot. But I started noticing the sound of my keyboard in relation to the font. Like, is it synesthesia? Some sort of weird thing like that. And all I could hear was like clunk, clunk, clunk. Well, this big clunky font was ruining my writing. So, no, good night. Here we are. It's Saturday evening. I'm behind on things, but I've been really busy today. I've been listening to my entire book through again, and I went to pick up a copy of it printed out. Not a full copy, but a copy for editing, which I'll show off when I do my proper filming in maybe half an hour. But it was exciting. And I have one last little hack to try out, and this isn't really a writing hack, it's a editing hack, and it's for figuring out passive voice. So for one, we're going to try out a passive voice detector app online, and then I'm going to try a couple lines with the by zombies test, which I hadn't heard about before. But I think it's going to be kind of entertaining and interesting. Now, passive voice is not something I think about much, and I think that I might need to consider it more because I tend to ramble and be very passive just in my work emails too, which doesn't always turn out to be good when you're doing recruitment. So I think this is something I should work on in general, and I'm curious to see how my book turns out. I feel like every single sentence is going to be a passive sentence.
Okay, so here we go. I've just got this page open that has some more information on passive voice. So I'll say that passive voice is not a bad thing. There's just a time and a place for it. And for the sake of this hack, I'm just going to be checking everything and seeing what my count looks like, and then going in and seeing if any of the changes that I could make to make the sentences less passive would actually help my writing. We will start off with the passive voice checker. I'm going to take from the first page of my book so that you don't see any spoilers. I actually almost left a spoiler in earlier and had to re-record the my screen when I had Comic Sans on, because I straight up showed the name of a character who died like really obviously, and it was right in the middle of the screen. I was like, girl, what are you doing? All right, let's see how passive I am. 0? Really? Okay. Let's try page number 2. 0 again. I feel like that can't be the case. I feel like that can't be the case at all. I'm gonna try one more page. Okay, this does work. I was worried. I was thinking maybe this doesn't even work. So we've got 2 sentences. The other half of the time was spent in passive, aggressive mental and magical battles that left one or both of them drained. And I guess this was all supposed to be sorted a few years back, but I've managed to put it off. Yeah, I don't really have a huge problem with those, so I think that's all right. I guess this isn't a huge problem of mine, though maybe I need to use passive voice more. We'll discover that in editing. Moving on to by zombies. I'd like to try some of my sentences with this, but I don't know how many of my sentences would work with that either way. Yeah, the interesting thing here is I guess I really don't use passive voice a lot. I'm learning so much more than I thought I would during this little hack video. I just don't seem to have it. I would like to even just find one here. I'm not seeing one, and I don't want to go through my whole novel and bore you to death.
All right. Moral of the story? This is not a passive story. Who would have guessed? Not me.
And that is how I got back into writing after a month and a half off. Really, these hacks did help a lot in revving my brain up and getting me back in the place that I was in November, which was a really good place. As much as I love the holidays, I missed being there. To rank these hacks in order of my favorite, Vonnegut comes first, followed by Not My Line. Third is the Pomodoro technique. Fourth is By Zombies, and coming in last is Comic Sans. I placed Vonnegut first because this is a method that has just always worked for me. My mind is so fresh in the morning, untouched by social media and work and all the variety of voices that come at you through the day. So when I jump out of bed and just get straight to writing, I wind up with both quantity and quality. Not My Line is second because it was the most pleasantly surprising. I knew that mood retention was something that I did a lot when I switched from reading a book to writing, but actually writing the lines to the book I'm reading helped me stay in that place even longer, which was really nice. Pomodoro comes in third, although it could be first if we're looking at productivity alone. It's a brilliant technique for just getting those words out on the page. I think just having that timer on sort of puts something in your head so that you are racing and trying to do as much as you can in that time. Even though it's not like you get some sort of punishment if you don't do it, just the fact that the timer is there, it does something. I think that's why it helped me so much during NaNoWriMo. However, the problem is that the quality is not always going to be there. I place the passive voice check / By Zombies second to last because it didn't really help me with my editing. Not yet, anyhow. Because I didn't spend too long on it, I'm not going to just drop it. The way I think I'll use this in the future is when a page just isn't right, no matter how many times I've tried to fix the flow of it, then I can run it through that and see if it maybe picks out a couple sentences, because you never know when one sentence can change the flow of an entire page or scene. And maybe that passive voice switch is what you're going to need to do it. And last, but no, definitely least, is the Comic Sans hack. I didn't want to watch other people try this before I did it because I didn't want to see the reactions. That's usually how I try to film my videos. So I don't know if other people feel the same way as me, but oh my god, I hated it. I didn't even know I would dislike it that much because I didn't think that fonts affected me so much. I know that I have my favorite font. I think everyone does. But when you use the wrong font, oh my god, I could not stop thinking about that bloody font. If you've tried this and it works for you, I love that for you, but it is not for me. And that's that. Like I said earlier, if you want to give any of these a shot, check out any more information I've mentioned. There are supporting links in the description down below. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell button so you actually get notified when I post a new video. And hey, go ahead, leave a comment down below, say hi. And until next time, I hope you are having a day that is as wonderful as you are. Bye!